Mixing with Mike plugin of the week comes from NoiseAsh. It's the Neve 31102 console EQ and preamp. This came out actually, I believe, as of the time of this video, about a year ago, I believe. And I actually loaded it up initially, and it didn't really hit me for whatever reason. Maybe it was the track that I put it up on. This happens sometimes. And then I brought it up again recently. Just thought about it, or it came across my plugins, and pulled it back up, and was impressed with it. So decided to dial it up and put it into a session, and kind of give it a test run and have a second look at it. And I thought it's worth taking a look at if you're interested in this type of thing. This is an emulation, somewhat of the Neve 8068 console. Part of the thing about doing console emulations, and especially Neve from these 80 series consoles of the 70s, is that the full channel signal flow is really just, the preamp stage, the EQ, and then a routing matrix where you're sending it to. That's pretty much it. So you're either sending it to the mix bus if you're mixing, or you're sending it out to a track on a direct out, or bus out to a track on the tape machine. And that's pretty much the whole signal flow. So aside from bus amps and those types of things, the whole console signal flow is just right here, and you're going through a fader. And so what they've done is they've basically given you that full channel strip. And it's pretty cool, right? So what you have here is something that frequency-wise would look very similar to the 1084. And essentially a lot of these EQs, perhaps other than maybe the 1084 or 1081, excuse me, are sort of some kind of start with a 1073 EQ basically, and then they kind of add on some additional features. That's the basic idea. So a lot of the things that were the 1084 were just adding extra high frequency shelving EQs, adding the low pass filter, adding the high Q switches on the high band, that sort of thing. And so this is sort of an evolution of that. In fact, I believe all the frequencies are the same as the 1084, and and it does have a different kind of character to it. Sometimes these things are dependent upon what console or what hardware actually gets emulated, and because they all sound a little bit different, all in different conditions. And I was always a huge fan of the 8068 as a console. It was one of my favorite consoles to work on of those 80 series Neves. Part of what made it so famous, it was an inline console. So it actually had two signal paths in each channel. One was the tape return, the other was the signal feeding the tape machine. So this way, you could have everything all in one section, more localized, and get more channel strips. Whereas before, you would have to have a separate monitor section, or jukebox section is what they used to call it on the 80 series Neves. All right, so the basics of it are here. We have a preamp stage. Now, you can turn the preamp stage off, which would just give you a standard input. If you put it on and you keep the drive switch in, you could actually push up and drive the input signal while maintaining the basic gain structure. If you leave this off, then you can drive it, and then you could have an input trim. That's another way to manage it. And then, that's just like the on-off switch for that. But the drive switch will keep your gain structure the same. This is just an on-off switch for that. Phase reverse, as usual, EQ in and out is here. You have the low pass filter with step settings. Okay, so you can't go in between. It's no modifications that will make it do anything else. High pass filter here. And then what they've done is they've added in one extra mid-band, which makes this a bit more usable. So the normal 31102 EQ actually has three bands. It has the high frequency shelf with the three frequency selections. You have the low frequency shelf, which is down here, right, with the stepped frequency selections again. And then you would have normally the one mid-band, and the mid-band would give you the 6 different frequency selections and the high Q switch. What they've done is they've just added in the extra one, and this makes it really usable, because you have to have a kind of different strategy when you're working with a 1084 or a 1073, because you have limited EQ, which means you either end up throwing in another EQ someplace to get that, or you have to start to play around with the gain structure where you boost or cut away the area that you want and then boost up the fader to give you a boost everywhere else. And you can sort of create similar types of things or sounds, but it's a pretty cool setup. So let's go over some of the different settings here with it. One of the things you do, you have the output faders here. You can link them for the left and right if it's stereo. Now, you can actually EQ in stereo. You can EQ mono. You can EQ the left channel, have separate left and right EQs. You could have a separate mid and side EQ, including a mid-side balance control. And then you can operate from all these different modes, and then you kind of it'll show you here, like, this is the side EQ, right? Or it'll tell you, it's the left or whatever, or mono. So that's the basic setup of it here from the monitor section. You could also add in the dirt, which brings in the original noise. They have like a 57 hertz, tone or something that's kind of in there that was probably inherent in the original console, and a little bit of gristle in there, a little bit of noise. Other than that, you're good. There's one sneaky little thing here if you want to get to the manual. Right here hidden, you click on that and that'll take you right to the manual. Also, there's some settings here. You have the graphic user interface resizer, so you could resize the interface there. Oversampling built in. I have it kind of maxed out here for demonstration purposes, and it actually holds together. It actually is very efficient. Mix engine, even processing engine rather, even with the oversampling set up high. And then they have tutorials, so you could get into some tutorials about how to do it. They have a whole preset engine here, so you could go into some different things for different instruments and give you a basic setup for different instruments to help you kind of get used to it. And this is just like another way to get to basically the same thing. And then the info knob is just a button, is just to tell you whatever info version and all that sort of stuff that you have. All right, so quick demonstration. I basically put together a mix. Let's just do a quick A/B in and out, just so you could get a vibe for it, and then we could poke around with some of the different settings and tweak it up a little bit. All right, so here we go.
Me get up and me fresh up and say yes, Lord. Me dress up with the best up and me left yard. A straight positivity me manifest, and me know upon my blessings. Can I go press back? Go down a head tracks, that's the best part. Cliff, line up a rhythm, me have a tune for bless hearts. Tell them how me feeling and what we dealing with. Revelation, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Now make nobody blow my eye. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Now make no negative energy kill my vibe. Me have to keep me energy high, for real. Me no biggie, me no ready for die. But if a soldier say, then me ready for fly. Like a bird in the morning, me take to the sky and spread me wings like an eagle. I soar high over people. Play this in your vehicle. Your headphones are your Bluetooth speakers.
All right, so you get a basic idea for it. Has a classic 80 series kind of sound as far as the Neve goes. Let's just focus on a couple of things. There's like a bass here. I just want to focus a little bit on the overdrive. So I have the drive turned off here for some reason, but let's just kind of have a look at that and see what we got here. Trying to cut that line there, just between driving it a little bit, but not completely fuzzing it out, just to get it to have a little bit more grit. Let's see if that helps in the mix.
Me get up and me fresh up and say yes, Lord. Me dress up with the best up and me left yard. A straight positivity me manifest, and me know upon my blessings. Can I go press back? Go down a head tracks, that's the best part. Cliff, line up a rhythm, me have a tune for bless hearts. Tell them how me feeling and what we dealing with. Revelation, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Now make nobody blow my eye. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine.
right? So just to get a little bit more grit. There's also like a little bit of harmonic distortion. I wonder if that would also work with the kick drum here. I also had this in already here for this, but it's a very warm kick drum sound.
Me have a tune for West Arts. Tell them how me feeling and what we dealing with. Revelation, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Go make nobody blow my high. I'm feeling.
The other cool thing here that it is like with kick drums, where normally like when you kind of boost a fundamental, you kind of want to dig in and get a little bit of that out. You can shape it a bit here with dipping some low mids just to kind of keep it from sounding too muddy, and then also get your attack frequency dialed in a bit. And then the high Q switches really help tremendously to sort of shape what's going on there. So that's kind of cool. The hi-hat sound was always bugging me here, so let's just check that. This is kind of missing always through here. I was trying to find like a warm frequency in here that I could boost that would kind of fill out some low end, but I think I have to get rid of this here. So I'm going to add like a little bit of a top end boost here. So even though this is at 10K and I've got a low pass filter here at 8K, like if I push this up, it can basically create a ripple on the top end of this, kind of like a little bit of a resonant filter.
Revelation, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Go make nobody blow my high. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Biggie, me not ready for that. But if I sound just say, then me ready for fly. Like a bird in the morning, me take to the sky and spread me wings like an eagle. I soar high over people. Play this in your vehicle, your headphones or your Bluetooth speaker. This are the stress reliever. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Now ain't now gonna make nobody blow my high. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Now ain't no negative energy kill my vibe. Feeling fine, meditating at the evening time. In the rising, give thanks to see yet another day. It feels so nice, me have to make the world know how me feel inside. Give thanks and praise that me friends and me family's alright and safe. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. Feeling fine. Now make nobody come blow my high. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine. So me now make no negative energy kill my vibe.
That could work. Snare.
Me get up and me fresh up and say yes, Lord. Me dress up with the best up and me left yard. A straight positivity me manifest and me know upon my blessings. John and go press back. Go down a head tracks, that's the best part. Cliff, line up already me about.
Little too distracting, but theoretically could work, with that.
Me get up and me fresh up and say yes, Lord. Me dress up with the best up and me left yard.
And
me get up and me fresh up and say yes, Lord. Me dress up with the best up and me left yard. A straight positivity me manifest and me know upon my blessings. John and go press back. Go down a head tracks, that's the best part. Cliff, line up already me have a tune for bless art. Tell them how me feeling and what we dealing with. Revelation, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling fine.
Nice. It's a great setup. I always loved the 31102 EQ. Has like a great depth field, great warmth, and body to it. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't done any mid-side stuff. I haven't experimented a lot with that. But upon revisiting this, I thought it was worth, having a closer look at and then, basically sharing with the community here. I think it's worth taking a peek at least having a demo, see if you attached to the vibe of it or not. And it's different thing than it definitely has a different kind of character to it than the 1073 and the 1084. So it is sort of a Neve variant, but a very cool one. And I think, worth taking a look at if you're interested. All right, there you have it. Plugin of the week from NoiseAsh. Pulled this one out of the plugin pile and revisited and was very happy with the results. So maybe my first look was a little bit, off kilter. So, but a very cool one. The Neve 31102 console, EQ, and preamp. Plugin of the week.